Hello all, this is Mark Wilbur of Tushwa.com, and this is video number 2 of my Learn Spanish After Work Challenge. For those of you that didn't see the first video, I am an experienced language learner. I learned Japanese in college, and then I lived in Taiwan for a long time, learned Chinese. Now I'm working on Spanish. Unlike before, I don't have a lot of time. I'm an engineer at a tech company in the San Francisco / Silicon Valley Bay Area, so it is, it's not the same as when I was like 24 and could spend all of my time on pretty much whatever I wanted. But I mean, work part time and then like spend a lot of time studying like I did when I was learning Chinese. So, yeah, so here's where I am. I just tried to record, or I just did record video number 2 for Learning Spanish After Work Challenge in Spanish. Because like I do a Spanish video and then I do an English video, or vice versa. This was way better than video number 1. Video number 1, I tried to say I had learned about 500 words, but I couldn't say the word 500 in Spanish. This time I struggled through a few minutes. I'm sure someday it'll make me feel great to watch the video. It doesn't right now, but I've made some progress. It's been like 3 weeks since I did video number 1. I finished the Michel program I was talking about, and that I reviewed in another video that you can see right here, and it was mostly good. I had a good experience with Michel. It was totally worth the time, and for most people, if you're like really serious about learning the Spanish version, at least if you want to learn Spanish, I think it's worth it. I have also been working through Living Language. I got that huge set of books that I showed off in the earlier videos. It was like 3 different levels of books and a whole bunch of CDs. Even though computers don't generally play CDs anymore, I found a way to rip them and got them on my computer. That's called Living Language. This is the book I've been working on, Living Language Spanish Essential. I finished it. I was spending, I don't know, half an hour to 1 hour per day, basically trying to do 1 unit a day, and it's kind of a normal language learning book. It's not. I don't really know of a lot to say about it. It's it goes over some vocabulary. It teaches a few grammatical patterns, then more vocabulary, more grammar, then some exercises to practice it. It's a lot like the Yokoso textbooks I used when I was learning Japanese in college. I would say it's well organized. It's clear that whoever compiled it or authored it spent some time deciding when to introduce what words, and they may have even done some kind of textual analysis and made sure that you get some review of the words later in the lessons, or maybe it's just because like at this level it's all such simple stuff and such high frequency vocabulary items that you're going to review it, like you're going to review the colors whether if you try to or not, because people use them all the time when they're talking, or even more so if it's a word like to have. Yeah, so I would say it's a little bit, it has a few more exercises based on production of Spanish than I would want. I'm not against that, but I think it's taking up too much time. Like I think there should be more exercises where I'm reading something or listening to something and I have to understand what it means and extract the English translation of that, or at least understand it and work with it somehow, as opposed to translating from English to Spanish. And that's because you have to understand something before you can produce it accurately. And it's also because it's a lot slower to write than it is to read. So if I only have so many hours a day, such as 1, I want to get through as much as I can, and and having too high of a ratio of my book being writing exercises means I don't get through as much. Anyway, I think, I give it a reserved thumbs up. I'd say maybe 4 stars out of 5 if I ever get around to rating it on Amazon. I am starting this book, the Living Language Intermediate book. I'm assuming it's going to be the same kind of deal, but it'll cover more stuff. Interestingly, even though like this book was, I spent way more time on it than I did on Michel Thomas, it actually has only covered about maybe a third of the grammar the Michel Thomas CDs did. So, if all I had done were living language, I still wouldn't have any idea how to do like past tense or like tengo que, like I have to, blah 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 blah. Wouldn't know those constructions. I am getting a lot of vocabulary from it though, so that's that. As far as Anki is concerned, Anki is a spaced repetition system I've been using. I have 2 flashcard decks in there. They're both for learning vocabulary. One's like a really simple standard one. The other one has audio sentences, and it's also Spanish to Spanish. I haven't been spending a lot of time on Anki. I haven't prioritized it, and I didn't plan on it. I would say I've used it about twice a week, but that's still enough. It's not optimal, obviously, but I am still making progress in it. I would say between the 2 decks, I have about 500 words that Anki considers me to have learned, which means I can answer them accurately about 90% of the time. And in this book, I probably went through 1,000 words ish, maybe 1,500, maybe 500, probably a little over 1,000. I don't know all of them. I have encountered them all and understood them all at some point. I'm sure there's some where if I encountered them now, I wouldn't be able to understand them, and I'm sure there are more that I would not be able to write on demand. But I think most of them I've got. So even though learning a language it's definitely not just a process of like learning all the words and then you know the language. It's one metric, and it's some progress. Gotta say, recording that Spanish video, there's so many things that my ability to understand things I'm reading is still way better than what I can express. And as I was recording the video, I recognized myself making some mistakes, but whatever. That's how it is at a low level. I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm doing the living language intermediate Spanish. I'm gonna keep on spending about half an hour a day on that. I'm gonna keep on doing a little bit of Anki when I feel like it, and I have got some graded readers finally. I will have them. I just bought them today on Amazon. I'll pick them up probably on Wednesday, and we'll see how it goes. Like they're not like, I haven't found anything amazing like the Oxford Bookworms readers. In fact, they don't even say how many headwords they have, but there's like graded reader beginner or something like that. If anyone watching this knows of, like, if you know what extensive reading is, and if you know what a graded reader is, and there's anything for Spanish that's like the Oxford Bookworms graded readers, or like the Penguin graded readers, or the Cambridge English graded readers, please let me know. I would love to have those kinds of resources, something where I have like a low, like 300, 400 headword level book. I can work through a bunch of those, or actually read them instead of like work and struggle. And then as I get better, I can work up to like a 600 headword, 700 headword level. If you know something like that, please leave it in a comment, because it would help me a lot. I think there should be something. I know for learning Chinese, there are at least 2 companies producing graded readers. They only have, like very like beginner and low intermediate level books, but they're being made. And Spanish is a way more popular language for English learners to be studying than Chinese is. I think it's probably a more popular language for people around the world in general to be studying than Chinese is. So there's got to be something. I'm hoping. Yeah, so please leave your comments. Tell me what are good graded readers, or any kind of reading materials that are easy enough for somebody at as low of a level as I am, and I will be right on that. Um, the other thing, right. Also, I missed a tutoring session last week, and I think that may have messed up my fluency a bit recording the video. Not that it would have been amazing either way, but even though language is it's mostly acquired through comprehensible input, like reading stuff you understand, hearing stuff you understand, you still have to have some extemporaneous practice. Some practice using language when you're not prepared for it. Sometimes when all you do is read, then you're kind of you're picking up a lot of stuff, but it all stays passive. And I gotta practice it at least a bit. So, plan is a little bit Anki, more living language, start the graded readers, don't miss my tutoring sessions, and record another video with progress soon. See ya.